of buying a Waszp. They were designed in Australia, they were built in China, they were shipped across the ocean in this fiberglass box to Coley Sailmakers of Point Pleasant. Everything comes ready to go inside this box. The mast, the sails, the rigging, the boat, the trolley, everything. And once you unpack it, you find a booklet that you can start reading and start putting the boat together. And then it will look like this over here.
Alright, so once you pull everything out of the box, start rigging it. There's a detailed instruction guide, which after about 4 to 6 hours of rigging, this is what you end up with. Everything you need to sail your Waszp is stored neatly under this cover, ready to rig, and it can be rigged from this point in 15 minutes or less, and you can hop on the water and be foiling in no time.
We're going to start the process of uncovering the boat, which only takes a couple seconds, and everything you need to go sailing is right under that cover. Alright, now that the boat is uncovered, we are going to get it ready to go sailing.
Alright, so you start out by grabbing the 2-piece carbon fiber mast section.
And then you grab the fully battened mylar sail.
Pick a nice empty spot in the parking lot or a grassy lot. Lay everything down.
Alright, they're now going to start to unroll the sail in this nice empty spot here. Next, they're going to put together the mast.
2-piece carbon mast similar to a laser. Just slides right together. It's tapered. Then you slide it right into the mainsail. Very simple process that you can do by yourself. With another person, it just makes it easier. Right. So you finish sliding the sail on the mast, and then you have to put the cambers, which are the ends of the battens, onto the mast. And it's a simple little process of just pushing up, and this is the camber. It rotates on the mast, and the full-length batten goes right into the middle of it, and that creates a more aerodynamic, consistent sail shape for the high-speed sailing that you're doing while foiling around. Then you zip the zipper, and that keeps everything together from falling out when you flip. You're guaranteed to flip. Pop right on. Just a small little motion where you push up with your hand and they pop onto the mast. Now the mast is ready to go in the boat. So it's a pretty light mast with the sail on it. Everything's carbon. A lot lighter than a radial sail. Vanna White moving the boat around. And it's a freestanding mast, so it goes right into the mast step, just like a laser. And there you go. You can pretty much leave the boat like this, and from here you start putting the wishbone on, and you attach your main sheet and your Cunningham.
Once you have the mast in, you're going to use this wishbone that's like a windsurfer boom because it's a freestanding mast. You're going to climb on the bow gently, reach up here, there's a tied line that you're going to flip on a little plastic nub, and then the wishbone's just going to hang from there. What this does, it makes it a little more aerodynamic, away from your body, and there's no side stays. So if you do flip over, there's nothing in your way to get you hurt.
Once the front end of the wishbone is connected to the mast, you start threading on the outhaul and the main sheet. And it's pretty simple, just a couple blocks on the clew of the sail and on the wishbone. And then you tie an 8-knot. And a little laser knot, which is like an overhand knot. It just locks it in there. Alright, so the outhaul is all done. Then you move on to the main sheet. Main sheet's 2-to-1. See, there's a little bridle at the back end of the boat here with a piece of bungee to keep the bridle from snagging on stuff while you're sailing. You just put the main sheet through the block, and then it goes through the middle of this block and tie another 8-knot. And the boat is rigged. You're ready to put it in the water and go sailing. We have the boat flipped on its side, and we took the dolly off to show one of the really cool things about the Waszp is that the foils are retractable. So they never have to get taken in and out of the boat. They go up and down like on a laser or sunfish or an opti. So essentially the main foil just slides right in until it's flush. And then the same thing with the rudder. And this is the ride height adjuster, and this gets attached on with a little locking mechanism, and then the board is locked down with this pin because all the force of the lift lifts the boat up, and you do not want to push the board back up, so you got to lock it down. Now that we have the boat on its side and the foils are all the way down and locked in place, we're going to describe the fundamentals behind the foil and how it actually works. So what we have here, this is called the wand, and on the tip of the wand is a little paddle that gets dragged through the water. So when the boat's all the way down in the water, the wand is all the way up against the boat. And in this position, it has max lift. So essentially, there's linkages in the bow, there's linkages in the cockpit, and there's adjustments that can be made while steering the boat that adjust the amount of lift the foil gives you. And then once the boat lifts up out of the water and the water moves away from the hull, so does the wand. And now with the wand down, it has the least amount of lift, but you don't need as much lift because you're now going faster. The water's not dragging along the surface of the hull, and the boat's flying. Okay, so here you see the basic profile of the main foil, and on this foil it has a moving trailing edge, which you'll see as the wand moves, the trailing edge moves, and that's what gives you the change in your lift. And just like an airplane wing, right now you have the most lift because the trailing edge is pushed down, but you also have the most drag. So as the boat lifts up out of the water, you need less lift because you're going faster. The wand goes down and your lift decreases. Alright, so there's fine adjustments you can make to your lift, or it's called your ride height, while sailing. In the cockpit there's a line you can adjust, and as you adjust the line, you see your lift changes. And there's an adjustment that slowly changes the amount of lift you have, so that in heavier air or lighter air, or depending on bigger waves or smaller waves, you can adjust the ride height of the boat and how the boat behaves through the different conditions. Okay, so the ride height can be adjusted while you're sailing with a simple pull of a line. So this yellow line here is attached to this spool piece that has all these wraps of line around it and a threaded connection. This is what's attached to the bottom of the main foil and adjusts your lift. So your wand is attached to this, and the bottom of the foil is attached to this, and it all moves depending on how high the boat is or depending on if you're adjusting it. So here I'm going to pull on the yellow line, and you'll see that the ride height is changing position, and that's going to cause the boat to ride a little lower in the water, or as you move your ride height all the way back, it's going to cause the boat to have max lift, and that's what changes the ride height of the boat while you're sailing.
As Pete was telling you guys about the front foil and the wand mechanism and the flap, the rudder also adjusts as well. You turn the tiller one way and it moves the silver pin towards the back. That gives you liftoff and flying mode. As you start flying, you might adjust it forward by turning the tiller the other way, and you can see the rudder pin moving. You're always going to adjust it for the attitude of the boat on the upwind and downwind. But to start off foiling, you want the pin in the back, and then you adjust from there.